Take this free practice test to see how prepared you are for a firefighter certification exam. Question 1. The fire-related death rate in the United States is the lowest of all industrialized countries. True, false? The United States actually has one of the highest fire-related death rates among industrialized nations, despite improvements over recent decades. Question 2. What percentage of all fires in the United States are structural fires? 41%, 22%, 8%, 29%. Approximately 29 to 30% of all reported fires in the United States are structural fires, accounting for the majority of fire-related deaths and property damage. Question 3. In which of the following circumstances is it okay to stretch a hose line without taking care to not block a rescue attempt? When the hose line provides a water stream that facilitates a rescue, it can be done if the hose line is used to spray nearby structures to keep the fire from spreading. Once the fire has been put out and salvage operations are underway, this is never acceptable. Rescue is the highest priority in firefighting. A hose line should never be placed in a way that obstructs or hinders rescue efforts. Question 4. According to code, what is the minimum required size of a new egress window? 5.0 square feet, 5.5 square feet, 5.7 square feet, 6.0 square feet. The International Residential Code, IRC, requires a minimum net clear opening of 5.7 square feet for egress windows to allow occupants to escape and firefighters to enter with equipment. Question 5. Around 13,000 people are injured in fires in the United States each year. True, false? National fire statistics consistently show that between 12,000 and 15,000 civilians are injured in fires annually in the United States. Question 6. What is the median response time for a structure fire? 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 11 minutes, 13 minutes. Studies by the USFA indicate that the median response time for structure fires is approximately 5 minutes, though this varies by region. Question 7. In what room in a single-family house is a fire most likely to start? Bathroom, living room, bedroom, kitchen. The kitchen is the leading area of fire origin in residential buildings, primarily due to cooking accidents. Question 8. How does response time impact flame spread? A fire is more likely to be contained to the room of origin with a response time of 5 minutes or less. More than half of fires that are confined to the floor of origin have a response time of less than 5 minutes. Half of fires that extend beyond the building of origin have a response time of 6 minutes or less. All of the above. Faster response times significantly increase the probability of containing a fire to its room or floor of origin and prevent extension to other buildings. Question 9. Secondary means of escape are required for classrooms, but not for bedrooms and living rooms in private houses. True, false? Building codes require secondary means of egress, such as windows, for all sleeping rooms, bedrooms, to ensure safety during a fire. Question 10. What is the primary cause of commercial fires? Electrical failure, arson, heating, industrial accidents. Electrical failure or malfunction is a leading cause of fires in non-residential and commercial properties. Question 11. Which action should a fire crew not take when responding to a natural gas leak? Evacuate the building's occupants. Open windows and doors for ventilation. Turn electric lights on or off. Attempt to trace the source of the leak. Operating electrical switches can create a spark that acts as an ignition source for the leaking gas, potentially causing an explosion. Question 12. What is the primary type of protective device every crew should have available on the scene of a fire? An operating air mask for each member of the crew. A hose line with an adequate supply of water. Proper suits. All of the above. While personal protective equipment is essential, the primary protective tool for the crew's safety and fire suppression is a charged hose line. Question 13. More people die from fires than from all other natural disasters combined. True, false? In the United States, fire fatalities consistently exceed the combined death toll from floods, hurricanes, tornadoes, and earthquakes. Question 14. An explosion has occurred. Which piece of evidence would indicate that the explosion was accidental? There is a crater area of significant damage. A number of objects were shattered by the explosion. The walls of the structure were blown outward at their base. The structure shows signs of implosion effects. Diffuse pressure explosions, like those from a gas leak, accidental, tend to push walls out from the base. Craters are more common with high-velocity explosives, often intentional. Question 15. Why are air masks so important to firefighters? The majority of fire-related deaths are due to smoke inhalation instead of burns. Today's buildings are filled with synthetic materials that give off toxic fumes when they burn. Many buildings store chemicals, such as pesticides, that become extremely hazardous when they burn. All of the above. Air masks, SCBA, protect against smoke inhalation, toxic synthetic fumes, and hazardous chemical byproducts, which are the leading causes of death and injury. Question 16. A fire crew has arrived at the scene of a natural gas leak. There is no fire. What should they do after laying a line to handle any possible explosion? Turn off the gas at the curb. Evacuate the occupants of the building. Notify a gas emergency crew. Open windows and doors for ventilation. After securing the scene and ensuring readiness, notifying the specialized gas emergency crew is critical for professional mitigation. Question 17. What percent of fires are outdoor fires? 8%, 22%, 29%, 41%. Approximately 41% of fires attended by fire departments are outdoor fires, including brush, grass, and rubbish fires. Question 18. Code requires new stair handrails to be at least 34 inches and no more than 38 inches above the surface of the tread. True, false? Building codes specify a handrail height between 34 and 38 inches to ensure ergonomic safety and accessibility. Question 19. You have arrived at the scene of a house fire. A neighbor is trying to give you information. What is the most important thing to find out? Do you know when and how the fire started? Who lives at this address? Did you see anyone leave the building? Do you know if anyone is inside? Determining if anyone is inside the building is the highest priority for life safety and immediate rescue operations. Question 20. What is the second major cause of residential fires in the United States? Cooking, smoking, heating, arson. Cooking is the leading cause of home fires, followed by heating equipment such as space heaters and fireplaces. Question 21. Which group of people is most at risk of dying in a fire? Senior citizens, men, children over 5 years of age, women. Senior citizens are at the highest risk due to potential mobility limitations and slower reaction times during an emergency. Question 22. When conducting an inspection of a home or business fire extinguisher, how high on the wall should the unit be placed? No more than 5 feet for any unit. No more than 5 feet for a unit that weighs under 40 pounds, and no more than 3 feet for a unit that weighs over 40 pounds. No more than 3 feet for any unit between 3 and 5 feet for all units. NFPA 10 standards specify mounting heights based on weight to ensure extinguishers can be safely removed by users. Question 23. What percentage of structural fires are residential fires? 25%, 50%, 74%, 93%. Approximately 74 to 75% of all structure fires occur in residential properties, which include homes and apartments. Question 24. Most fire-related deaths in the United States are a result of careless smoking. True, false? Smoking materials remain the leading cause of civilian fire deaths in the United States. Question 25. There is a fire in a multi-room building. You have been instructed to help stop the spread of the fire. What should you do? Open all of the windows. Soak down the adjoining rooms or suites. Close the doors between rooms or suites. All of the above. Closing doors limits oxygen supply to the fire and creates barriers that slow the spread of smoke and heat. Question 26. What are the root causes of most cooking-related fires in the United States? Unattended cooking, mechanical failure of a stove or oven, ingredients used, type of pots used. Unattended cooking is the single most common factor in home cooking fires and injuries. Question 27. You have just arrived on the scene of an accident. What is the first thing you should do? Call for police assistance, stop the flow of traffic, check the victims for injuries, direct traffic until the police arrive. Ensuring scene safety by stopping or controlling the flow of traffic is the first priority to prevent secondary accidents and protect responders and victims. Question 28. What percent of fires are vehicle fires? 10%, 22%, 32%, 41%. Vehicle fires typically account for about 15 to 22% of all fire department responses to fires. Question 29. The leading cause of home fires in the United States is cooking. True, false? Cooking is the number one cause of home fires and home fire injuries in the United States. Question 30. In what room of a single-family house is a fire least likely to be in? Laundry room, bathroom, kitchen, living room. Statistically, bathrooms are the least likely room of origin for residential fires due to the lack of common ignition sources compared to other rooms.